not 7:30. It's 6:20. It's a happy medium. Today got a little bit hectic, and I had texted Keith last night, and I didn't hear back from him today, so I figured that he wasn't down for this. But at like 4:30, he hit me up, and I'm like, dude, I already pushed the live stream to 7:45, so forth, so on, and blah, blah, blah. So just scrapped it for another day. Today got hectic. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I got a lot of things I got to do, so forth and so on. And there you go. So there's 12 people. That's manageable. What is up, Lynn Gruen? And Anna is a mod. She already knew that. So there is that. Linda Boehm, is that right? I don't know how to say that. Sorry. Critter Me Timbers, what's up? Joe Potter, what is up? D Masters Dungeon, what's up? Bear Jew, what is up? Ooh, that was in the first 10 seconds too. That'll probably be Tessie, what's up? There's a lot of people filing in here real quick. That is very cool. Cocoa Biscuits, what's up? Sally Sullivan, hey. Technical difficulties. It's not working. Terrific. Grace, Natural Born Scorpio, All for Christ, Derby Jack, Trina Johnson, Rage Against the Machine. What's up, man? Shane Ross Drury, Comedy Crew, Mod, what is up? Pam, what is up? Frederick, Beck 60, Alan Miller, Joe Potter, I already said that. You got 2 for 1. There you go. Medic 1192, what is up, man? Maddie P, Bear Jew, I just like the name. I just find it phenomenal. Plus, I saw the movie, so I love it. Yudin, Phil Rooftop, American Gunslinger. I've actually met you out in Sacramento, you, your wife, and your kids, which was very awesome. Shane Ross Drury, did I already say that? Scrotal Recall, just in case. John Rennick, what is up, brother? I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I go back and forth with John all the time. And for some strange reason, you know, I get a lot of emails and I don't read them word for word unless it's, you know, something that really catches my attention or whatever. I try to respond to everybody. I spend a lot of time replying to emails and comments. It's not easy. But for some reason, I thought John lived in another country. I have no clue why. I must be mistaking his name or whatever. And it turns out he's in the next state over from me. So me and John need to hook up one way or the other. Lorraine Ray, what's up? Debbie Rua, what's up? Cindy J, what is up? Rebecca Lynn, you look a little psychotic in that picture. That's not that it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying. George, what's up? From Oregon, man. Oregon, that's where Will's from. That's where Delilah is from. Delilah. I can't believe I just said that. Whatever. She texted me last night. Every time she does, that stupid intro sticks in my head. It won't go away. Ian, what is up from England, man? Yeah, Shane, I don't know, whatever. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I didn't mean it. It's a little from what. All right, listen, Rebecca, I'm looking at it and it's way over here and it's a tiny little picture and it just reminded me of The Shining. That's all. Sorry about that. No offense. Texas is blue skies, sun, and trails. Same thing here in Massachusetts, man. So, all right. Prince Edward Island, Canada, what is up? All right, here we go. George said, okay, looks like we're all here. George is basically saying, let's get this ball rolling. All right, cool, man, cool. Here we go. If I missed you, I didn't do it on purpose. It is what it is. But let's start with some. I put this up on RFB2 last night. Most of my videos are going to be on Richie from Boston 2 or RFB2. This is Richie from Boston 2, whatever. I've got 5 channels back, but I never got my main channel back, which bums me out pretty bad. So does China spray? No. Your own government sprays chemtrails. It's not some all of the countries are united. Everybody that runs the countries, everybody that you see that they present as the president or prime minister or everything, they're all the same actors. They're all puppets. They're all being told what to do, and then they present themselves as our authorities, much like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has absolutely shown his true colors this time around, but he did last time too. You remember Operation Warp Speed? The fastest way. We're going to use the military to give everybody their jabs. Well, now he's building AI super centers, whether it kills the entire world or not. You know what I mean? So it's what's happening. It's what's happening right now. So don't trust the system, but check this out real quick. I posted this yesterday. This video right here, and it was a weird thing because a couple of people had asked me what happened to the channel Into Thin Air. That's the name of the YouTube channel. I follow him because he covers much of what I cover. You know what I'm saying? For years. And it's weird being around this long and seeing all these young dudes come up. But here's the funny thing. He discovered that suddenly the FBI is on notice. The FBI is on notice because apparently a group of conspiracy theorists have gotten together and they claim they are going to threaten NEXRAD and Dopplers. Well, isn't that weird timing? You know what I mean? Isn't that really, really strange timing? Because just gave me my channels back. What do I talk about in almost every video? What have I been talking about for years? But I'll tell you what, anybody that thinks they're going to go and take one of these units out, that's domestic terrorism. You're going to get absolutely smited. There's no stopping this machine right now. There's no stopping it. Sorry to say it. It is what it is. There's no stopping it. And for those that are thinking about, well, it doesn't matter because we're already in the little season, I'm going to address that big time. And I brought ammunition on this particular one. Biblical ammunition before any of the listening parties freak out. But yeah, this is a crazy thing right here. You see what I mean? What timing? What timing? And they're going after a group called Patriots on Patrol or Veterans on Patrol, one of the two. I know of the guy, but I don't follow his channel. It's not my cup of tea. You know, he's just basically getting himself into jams like this, if this is even true, because it would be very advantageous for them to completely blame this on conspiracy theorists when it's something they mixed up in a big cauldron all themselves. This could be completely and totally fabricated, simply blaming it on this dude, but I do not know. All I know is that it really looks bad. And with the laws, you know, Trump trying to get rid of habeas corpus, that doesn't look too smooth either. You see what I'm saying? And I had a couple of people like, Obama did the same thing. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Not at all. Trump is doing everything he needs to do to make every single solitary person like me, you, and everybody you know and care about domestic terrorists. And you can be arrested and held at a black site, you know, and never be told what it's basically Guantanamo. Never be told what your charges are. No due process, no phone call, etc. That's exactly what's coming for people that don't play ball. Understand that. Understand that. You know, people seem to think that this is all fun and games. This is all just conspiracy entertainment. The end of the world's been coming forever. I don't recall ever in 5,423 videos. Yeah. Give or take. All right. 5,250, 5,500, whatever. Never once said the end of the world's coming. It's the end of people like us. People that don't play ball, people that don't play along, people that don't do what they're told when it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? The flu is completely gone. That doesn't make any sense. Well, it does if you take the flu and you simply rebrand it and call it something deadly. Well, some of us caught on to that. Some of us caught on to it before they even presented it, if you recall. Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing, and they don't like it, so it is what it is. So these guys, you know, this is a bad day at the office. Bad day at the office for conspiracy theorists, and it really makes me wonder about the timing of my channels coming back. Because I mean, yeah, I got an attorney a long time ago. He was a subscriber. He's a I forget the exact title, but his specialty in law was social media, and at the time it was fairly new. You know what I mean? He went after YouTube. A 3-day appeal is what it takes to get your channel down or just gone. 5 years, magically, I walk in the door after being on the road for 18 months, and suddenly I get 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I can't remember. Yeah. Richie from Boston, RFB2, RFB3, RFB, and the band one. I got 5 channels back in a week after 5 years. 5 years. So is this why? You know what I mean? Is this right here? Is this why? Maybe. Are they gathering information? I really don't see the reason why they would need to gather any more information. They've already got a digital footprint of what you think, what you do, what you're capable of, and what you will do when the time comes. They already know that. You know what I'm saying? They are absolutely, without a doubt, Trump is making huge steps towards getting rid of the dollar this year. Christine Lagarde's already got it. By October 2025, the dollar is done in the UK. And the US and the UK just did a little thing together. So there's no way that the dollar is not going to go. There's just no way whatsoever at all. The dollar is going, and you're either going to do what they tell you and live under the social credit system, or you're going to do what you've been saying you're going to do for years and not participate whatsoever at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about walking into a grocery store with gold and trying to pay. That ain't going to work. You ain't going to be able to go in a grocery store unless you play ball. And if you play ball, you're done. You're basically done. Social credit system. Every single solitary comment, everything you've ever said on the phone, everything you've ever texted everybody, every video you've ever made, every video you've ever watched, everything you've ever done online for the last 20 years is going to come right back around and be presented to you like a court case, and you're going to be basically effed directly in your A. And that's probably going to suck. I'm just going to walk away the whole thing. It doesn't matter anymore. So, but it's coming. Dr. Jekyll is on it right there. Same. At any rate, let's move on to the next order of business here. All right, that's done. Okay, let's look at a comment somebody left in the live stream. See if I can share this properly. See if I can share a picture. Stand by. I'm not old school like I was. I'm not really great on this like I was. I can't find it. Don't know where it is. Nope. I can't share it. But how about this? I'll read it to you because I can see it. Somebody called 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗲. He's in the comments, I believe, and he said, "Hope you guys don't veer off into Rob Skiba, Gary Wayne, et al. Book of Enoch stuff. Not everyone believes in that, and it's not helpful with what's going on now. Yes, it's demons. We don't need weird giant lore." So I'm going to guess you're new here, but Rob Skiba and I did multiple live streams together. Gary Wayne, the author, he's been on my live streams numerous times. Yeah. And the weird giant lore, you believe in demons, but you don't believe in giants. Check this out. There's fallen angels, there's demons and evil spirits. Do you know what demons and evil spirits are? They're what we would consider the souls of the dead Nephilim or giants. It blows me away. Like, I hope you don't go down that path. What do you think is going on right now? Men's hearts will fail with fear. Where do you think they got all this technology that just popped up, like Rob Skiba used to say? In the last century, we went from horse and buggy to planes, trains, and automobiles. Like that. As soon as we learn how to fly, we learn how to drop bombs and bigger bombs on everybody. It's been nonstop, never-ending war where the wealthy people or the politicians or authorities, they never go to war. We do. We do. So they manage to kill off, in the United States at least, they kill off the youngest, most physically capable young men and some women, I guess, whatever. And then they get to kill all sorts of people everywhere else. And they get to test all the different weapons that they've been making with the money they've been collecting from you, because you have to pay to live here. You have to buy a house. You have to pay the taxes on the house. You have to pay for water. You have to pay for everything. You have to pay to live here. These people aren't even politicians. They're just simply slumlords, man. You can't live here anymore. It wasn't always like that. This is why we walked away and threw down with Great Britain. And now suddenly we're good friends with the UK and Princess Di and the royal family and this, that, and the other thing. It blows me away that people even fall for this stuff, but it is what it is. But as far as the Giants go, it blows it. How about this? How about this right here? There is more evidence in this just one video that I did a year ago that nobody watched. There is more evidence in this video and links proving Giants were here and proving that they all knew about it. All of them knew about this. I went to Lovelock Cave and I filmed absolutely everything. And I found the patents. I found everything about this place. UC Berkeley went there in 1929 and said, wow, there's red-haired giants here. Red-haired giants. Where have we heard about red-haired, six-fingered, six-toed, double-row teeth giants? Well, you heard from Rob Skiba, you heard from Gary Wayne, you've heard from me, and you've also heard it from UC Berkeley. It's in writing. It's right here. Here's the link. And then here's all the other links to everybody else. That's me right there, passing a barbell to my father. At any rate, there is more evidence of giants on the face of the planet Earth. Oh my God, you said planet Richie. Shut up. All right, relax. Take a break. There is more evidence on Earth of giants than there is of evolution, climate change, and politicians actually being politicians. You know what I mean? The bones were found absolutely everywhere. Well, how do you think things were made? For someone to come into my comment section before the video even starts, exactly, Kandahar giant. For someone to come in my comment section and say, don't go down that route, we don't need that right now, and then say, I believe in demons, then you don't know what you're talking about, and you probably shouldn't put it in writing because it might end up in a live stream. You know what I mean? Fortunately, I can't share that comment because it's in what did I save it in? A Word document or a screenshot, and I don't know how to share screenshots on here. So it is, as they say, what it is. At any rate, let's pull that one down. Here's a good one, though. Here's a really good one because you know they're getting ready to make a move because they got to bring old Uncle Bill Gates back into the fold. You know what I mean? And nobody seems to like him, which is why suddenly $20 billion Elon Musk turned into $250 billion Elon Musk. Now he's the richest man on earth. It used to be Bill Gates, but everybody hates him because everybody figured things out. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty easy. Bill Gates made it obvious how much of a scumbag he is, but he's still in the background chipping away at everybody's humanity. He's still in the background trying to figure out new and exciting ways to kill you and your children because that's in his blood. His family is Planned Parenthood under a different name. His family's been into eugenics for a bazillion years. It's what they do. It's how they roll. It's where it's at. This guy, genetically not good. I don't know what that means. They weren't good in the first place. They were eating everything, if that's what you mean. Bill Gates is now in the news because Bill is going to stand by. I got to pull up a link. It takes longer than I'd like it to. Bill is now going to give away virtually all his money and end his foundation in 20 years. Well, that's kind of bold of him because Bill looks like a cross between Kermit the Frog and a chicken, and it doesn't look like Bill Gates is going to be around very much longer, but he's probably got the secret sauce, and he's going to upload his consciousness into a robot or into an AI or whatever. But he says, in the next 20 years, I'm going to give all my money away. Really? In the next 20 years? I don't think any of us are going to be paying attention in 20 years, because in the next 2 to 3 years, Agenda 2030 is the cap. In the next, I don't even know, in the next few months, and we're in it right now. We're in it right now. So for Bill Gates to come out and say this is completely and utterly irrelevant. He's trying to make Bill look like he's some sort of a nice guy, when Bill is not a nice guy at all. Bill Gates is a scourge, an absolute scourge to humanity. You know what I mean? Worst person ever, besides a bunch of other people that are actually his friends. But we live in a crazy time. We live in a very, very crazy time. You can't upload your anything to a robot. Okay. How about this? You left a comment. Now prove it, because I can prove quite the opposite, but have at it. Comments are free, and so are memes. You know what I mean? Memes are very dangerous. We're going to get into that rather soon. All right. I'm trying to stretch this a little bit, but I have been going for 20 minutes. No, stop. All right, let me jump in the chat real quick. Let me get rid of Lovelock. Let me get rid of Bill Gates. I wish I could really just click a button and Bill Gates would go away, but they gave us Elon. You know what I mean? They gave us Elon. The Bible is clear. Okay, that's not an answer. That's a what's it called? When you don't have an answer and you want to sound smart. Yeah. Okay. So you're all right. This guy, we're done. I'm done with this dude. I'm done with this dude. He's not, he probably thinks that giants don't matter either. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Well, yeah, you've heard it everywhere, because that's all they were ever referenced by, red-haired giants. And that's exactly what they found. And they found them in the United States. And I went there. I went to the cave, and there it was. And so, but UC Berkeley went there back in 1929 and actually found them covered under millions of pounds of guano, which is bat shit. Yeah, they were mining the bat poop because it's a good fuel statement, or what a good fuel source, and came across these 6.5 foot to 8 foot tall, red-haired, 6-fingered, 6-toed, double row of teeth giants, and evidence of cannibalism everywhere. And I believe it was the Inuit Indians. Is that right? Top of my head, could be wrong. They've written a book about it as well. But every link is in the description of that book, that video I did on Jailbreak about giants. They were all over the earth. They were all over the earth. I hear you. Serpent Mound, man. I was the first YouTuber to ever put up 4K footage of Serpent Mound with a drone. That was one of my claims to fame. I did that a long time ago. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Exactly. Good catch. I find it very apropos that these giants were buried under millions of pounds of guano, because that is indeed, as Third Eyed Source says, batshit crazy. So, yeah, cool. Thank you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Fallen angels came to earth because they thought women were hot. They came down here, took whichever women they wanted, did whatever they wanted with them, and created offspring that were half angel, half human. They all turned into mighty men of renown, giants. The problem is unlike us, when we die, we're judged because we're God's creation. The angels were God's creation. When they die, or when it's over, they're judged. Nephilim were not God's creation. The angels took it upon themselves to have offspring with humans. So when they died, this is right in your Bible, when they died, the Nephilim were cursed to walk this earth forever as evil spirits. Right in your Bible. They thirst, but they can't drink. They're hungry, but they can't eat. They're tired, but they can't rest. But what they can do is mess with humanity. Why? I don't know. I didn't get the original rule book when this whole place started, because we were at quite the deficit when we were born. We were born into this system, and this system was already up and running. I mean, I was born end of the 60s, way back in the 1900s. And isn't that weird? It's true, but it is what it is. I was born right after they first did an enormous ritual where they whacked the president, shot him in the face, in the back of the head, all over the place, in front of everybody, at the tip of a pyramid, right at Dealey Plaza. You know what I mean? And of course, one of the George Herbert Walker Bush was standing right there. There's pictures of him standing right there. When asked where he was when Kennedy got shot, he couldn't recall. I know exactly where I was and what I was doing when Kurt Cobain was found dead, the lead singer of Nirvana. How in the world did you live? How in the world were you a 20-something-year-old dude standing in Dealey Plaza during the assassination and you can't recall? He was in on it. It was part of his deal, blah, blah, blah. We grew up under their family where the Bush family just did so many crazy things. It's unbelievable. We were born into the system. And for some reason, for one reason or another, me, yourselves, many people in the comments, not everybody, many people in the comments became awake, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. First thing I ever noticed was the sky. They were spraying the skies, and I did not know why. Couldn't figure it out. It took me months. I just kept looking up. I'm like, wow, it's a beautiful day. I can see it up there, but there's like this blanket of clouds. And then I started noticing the airplanes. And then one day I just videotaped it with a camera on a cell phone. When I finally figured out how to use it and post it, boom, 27 Tub Guy was born, or Richie from Boston. Been doing this forever. Been doing this since flip phones, man. I don't know why we're awake. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I'll tell you what, and you might know this, it makes life much more difficult. It just makes life so much more difficult because you can't really enjoy regular things. You know that everything's evil. And the biggest thing that I notice is when I meet people, because I've met over 100,000 of you so far, which is pretty phenomenal. You meet people and they're just dying to talk to somebody else that's awake. And they just unload on you. People do it to me all the time, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you're telling me things as though I haven't done 5 to 10 videos on this topic. But I let them go. I let them unload. But talking to strangers like that, they're just going to look at you and go, wow, this person's batshit, 6-fingered, red-haired giant, chemtrail, crazy. But on the other side of that coin, I look at people and I'm like, you really think Elon Musk put a car into space that's orbiting? I mean, Elon said, it's so fake, you know it's real. And people are like, that makes perfect sense because people are literally supporting all of this. What is Doge doing? Doge isn't doing anything, man. Not doing anything. They gave Musk and his Grok AI supercomputer. You know the AI computers that guy Elon. Oh, it's the same guy. What a weird thing. Remember that time Elon Musk told everybody that messing with AI was literally summoning demons and it would go horribly wrong? Well, now that same guy Elon is now the richest guy on earth, according to them, and he has one of the strongest, biggest AI supercomputers ever, and using Doge literally gave him a backdoor. So all the information they can't steal off your Amazon transactions, all the information you input to your cell phone or to your laptop, he's got all the information the government had on you too, which is pretty much total. And Anthony Patch and I, back in 2016, told you about the Purdue white paper where they were literally doing a massive game where every single one of us, every person on earth, according to them, according to the white papers that weren't supposed to get out, we spilled the beans on that. They were running exercises on how everybody on earth would react to every type, an asteroid, dinosaurs, Batman freaks out and attacks everybody, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles attack the White House. Conspiracy theorists end up attacking radar towers for the weather because they think it controls it. They ran exercises on absolutely everything to see how we would react. That was back in 1997. That's crazy, right? It just got dark in here, didn't it? It really did just happen. But whatever. We grew up in this system, and some of us somehow broke out of it. And the sad thing that I'm noticing big time, especially since getting my channels back. I mean, I came back from 18 months on the road, and magically they give me back 230,000 subscribers. Here you go. And I'm like, awesome. What's the plan here? You know, like, what are we really doing? What's the story? And then I see newspaper stories about the FBI, and okay. But whatever. At this point, there's nothing else. I mean, you're never going to hear me say, go. Everybody should. The bell rang for everybody to make a stand back during the lockdowns. And I went state to state to state and met with groups of 50 to 200 of you guys and set everybody up. Everybody introduced each other, blah, 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 blah. And still, nothing happened. So it's coming. It's coming. It isn't the end of the world, okay? It isn't the end of the world. It's just the end of certain people. And those certain people, hopefully, haven't been watching videos like this for the last 10, 15, 20 years as entertainment, because apparently they're very patient. I said this a long time ago. I said they're going to wait till we're old and we're dead, and then they're going to spring it, because what they're teaching children right now absolutely and completely blows me away. Not even the gender thing, because that's stupid. John Hopkins came out years ago. I made a video about this like 400 times, saying, number one, there's no such thing as gender. There's sex, male, female, period. That's it. Oh, and then they also said that anybody trying to take pills and such to mess around with their metabolism to turn them from male to female or vice versa was simply had a mental disorder. And I was like, I'm running with that. That was 10, 12 years ago. I didn't think it was going to get, I knew it was going to get bad. I didn't think it was going to get as bad as it is now, where preschool and, you know, first grade, second grade, third grade, they're literally teaching kids about their teachers shouldn't be teaching children about anything except reading, writing, arithmetic. Why are teachers teaching kids about maybe you're really a boy or a girl? You know what I mean? That's been going on, and it's still going on. It didn't stop just because Trump came into office and threw us a few bones. There's only male and female. You know how pathetic this world is when the guy that just gets voted president has to come in and say that, and people are like, yeah, it's. And then he turned around and gave $500 billion to the richest people on earth so they can build these big, giant power stations for their Skynet that can never be shut down. And people that live near these AI supercomputer centers are already noticing that their water is no good, their electricity. These things are sucking in all the power because they don't care about you. They don't care about you. Trump's going to say it with a smile. He's going to keep on doing it, which he is doing it. The national debt still keeps going up, because I told you this years ago before they took my channels down. The last time I live streamed from that room over there, I told you, see the national debt. Every week I would talk about the national debt. I said it's like an all you can eat. They're going to run this up because they're never going to pay the bill. You're never going to see Social Security. They're going to take all of this stuff, man. All of everybody. It just is what it is, and it's actively occurring right now. They're going to digital money, period. If the UK's doing it completely by 2025 October, so ain't we. There ain't no two ways about it, man. Everybody will. There is no independent countries. Russia isn't against Ukraine. They're not at a war. They're killing each other's young, able-bodied men, people that could stand and fight, because they're all in this together, man. They all go to the World Economic Forum. They're all tied to the Antarctic Treaty. We're at war, except for Antarctica. We all completely agree about that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, you know, what's happening over in the Gaza is terrible, but it continues. It completely and utterly 100% continues unabated. They do not stop. But on that, I guess I will digress. I just saw somebody. Yeah, I know that. I'm aware, but I can't prove it. You know what I mean? I can't prove it. Yeah, I don't know. That's not my thing, man. I stick with things that are accurate. But whatever. Exactly. Show me where the star of Remphan is in the Bible. I'll wait. I will leave a link below. There's a company, they're sending me one. The one that I had was the real deal, the Royal Rife machine, and you had to actually upload frequencies to it. And the frequencies could do wonderful things, or they could do exactly what is happening to us right now. So I want to double check it. I will. Hit me, email me, and I'll remind you. At any rate, all right, let's get to this last thing real quick because I've been rambling for a bit. Stand by. Boom, here we go. All right, this is crazy. I found this paperwork from June 26, 2024 from Japan. Japan's doing a lot of crazy things like Japan just came out with the first artificial chicken. I don't know if I still have that bookmark or not. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But they've got robot skin that can age because people need that. You need robot skin that can age. That's crazy. The fact that they can actually make something, the fact that they're even making robots that can age tells you they're already done. They're already done. This is creepy. Why would you need a robot that can age accurately? And look at the face. That's disgusting. It's gross. All of this stuff is gross, but all they're doing is they're fast tracking this because AI is done. AI is taking over. And if the elites don't hurry up and get all this information out, like these are all the latest discoveries or latest breakthroughs, AI is going to do what it did on the East Coast, and it's going to start releasing drones, or it's going to start doing its own thing because it already has. This thing is completely and utterly 100% out of control. So now, here's what many of you have been waiting for, because I hear this all the time, and this is going to be a heartbreaker. So sorry, but it is what it is. I hit up 3 of my favorite biblical experts, and every one of these experts is prepped, trained, biblically sound, where they do Bible studies online. You probably know them, or they're authors. And I asked them to explain to me exactly why there is no such thing as us being in the little season, everybody's favorite meme. And I get it. If we're in the little season right now, then there is no revelations. There is no tribulation. Everything is fine. Jesus already came back. All is well. Well, that's great. That's great. But it's 1,000% delusional. It's a meme. It's a meme. It's a comment that people just keep putting up because it gives them hope. No responsibility. All is well. In order for this theory to be the case, these prophecies right here would have had to have happened. The Great Tribulation, the false prophet, the Antichrist, and the mark of the beast, Jesus' return, the firmament opening like a scroll would have already happened. The first resurrection of the dead, the people that actually gave their lives because they would not denounce Jesus Christ whatsoever at all, people that lost their heads, people that were saints, that stood in the word so hard that when they were surrounded by soldiers or when they were sitting at the steps of the guillotine, they said, I'm down with Jesus, and that's that. And they whacked him. For the little season to have already occurred, these people would have already been resurrected. The rest of the people that are going to get resurrected, there's a 1,000-year period. You do understand that. It is in your Bible. I know it. Jesus splitting the Mount of Olives in 2, and the 1,000-year reign and the new kingdom on earth. All of these things would have had to have already occurred for us to be in the little season. Okay? Facts. This is from the Bible. This is from the Bible, okay? So where can you find evidence of any of these things that have already taken place? Where did all the resurrected souls go with eternal bodies that were designed to live on earth? Where did they go? Because we're in the little season, so the first resurrection of the dead's already happened. Where are all these people? Seriously. Where did Jesus go if we're already in the little season? He's just going to abandon his domain and hide to be part of this deception? Jesus is messing with us now too? You know what I mean? This makes no sense. And that would have to be the case if we were in the little season. So Jesus came back, according to the little season memes, theories, TikToks, rumors. Jesus already came back. The first round of dead were already resurrected. All the saints, all the people that were really solid back in the day that followed the commandments to the letter of the law, they were all resurrected, but they're all hiding on us. Jesus is he's like that. He's very deceptive. Do you see do you understand the irony here? It makes no sense. Now I'm going to read verbatim from my buddy who's an author. It says, this brings me to a major point to consider when analyzing the text that to support this theory. When Jesus comes into his kingdom, he has it eternally, meaning it does not get taken away. Revelation 20 describes how Satan will gather nations together to surround the camp of the saints in the beloved city or the new kingdom, but they are quickly dealt with by fire from heaven. And right after, Satan is then escorted to forever torment. I can't. I ain't that good. All right. According to Revelation 27 through 10, when the 1,000 years are completed, Satan will be released from his prison, and he will come out to deceive the nations, which are the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for the war. The number of them is like the sands of the seashore, and they come up on the broad plain of the earth, surrounded by the camp of the saints in the beloved city. And fire came down from heaven and devoured them. And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet also are, and they were tormented day and night forever and ever. That's some biblical backing. But I mean, you seriously have to answer all of these questions, and nobody asks them. And if they say Jesus is not a deceptive. When Jesus comes back here, for us to be in the little season, we would be in the kingdom of God right now. We would be in a renewed earth right now. This ain't it, man. You think Jesus is here and we're in the little season, but they're still chemtrailing because Jesus is like, yeah, economically it makes sense for the economy. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You think Jesus is going to let what's going on in Gaza still continue? Seriously? Because it is pain and suffering unfettered, completely and utterly unchecked. In the video I did the other day, I showed you the receipts. Once again, John Hopkins came up and said, yeah, those people over there. Now listen, I've already gotten messages from people that live in Israel, and they're like, you Americans hate us. Nope, we don't. Nope, we don't. We hate assholes. And our government's run by assholes because the assholes that run our government are the same assholes that run your government. They just call them different names. They're all in the same club, but the people that are standing in Israel claiming to be Israelites are not. And they can prove it. You see what I'm saying? And for years, I postulated, just me off the top of my head, quacking like I am right now, asking myself out loud, maybe the reason those people over in Palestine are always getting smoked and nobody helps them. They live in a prison camp, surrounded. They don't move freely. They can't go in and out. The only reason I used to have Max Egan on live streams before he went crazy is because I respected the fact that he was there on the ground, that he actually climbed through the tunnels. When you see it on the news, it sounds like there's a war where they're using tanks and helicopters and F-16s, F-18s against farmers, people that are dirt poor, They don't have any way to stockpile weapons. This is all complete fugazi. It's not real. It's a mirage. You think if Jesus was here, where we're in the little season right now, that he would allow this to occur? Because this is insane. We're in the wars and rumors of war part of the Bible. It's all written down, man. It's not too hard to understand. I just didn't want to go running my mouth until I actually talked to some experts. I don't go to Facebook to get my little season information. I see it all over the place. Richie, what do you think of this? I don't think anything of it. It's a meme. It's a meme that snowballs and turns into a TikTok. And then it turns into an Instagram video, maybe a Twitter video. And then it ends up on YouTube or wherever else. And then it's on. And don't be mad. You asked, what do you think of the little season? When I had Nicholson on my live stream, we addressed this months ago. When I had Manyfish on, we addressed this. And I'm addressing it now. And like I said, I went to the 3 most respected, biblically sound, completely awake. They're on all cylinders. All cylinders. You know what I'm saying? They know what the biblical cosmology of the earth is. They know where we're at with outer space. They know what demons are. They know what evil spirits are. They know what giants are. They know what the relevance of all 3 of those things have right now. Period. At any rate. And I'm an American. All right, dude? All right. Do you hear me? Do you see me reading the script? No. I read one paragraph off a piece of paper. I spit it. So it is what it is. At any rate. That's right. Yep. Wendy's on it. It's weird. The more I talk, the more my nose. This happened. Remember this? Do you guys, the old school guys, remember this? The longer I talk, my nose gets stuffed up. It's a weird thing, man. Anytime. Absolutely anytime. Anytime. Let me finish what that's the number one answer right there. In order, I didn't even read this. I was supposed to. In order for this theory to be the case, the Great Tribulation, the false prophet, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, Jesus has to return, and the firmament would have opened like a scroll. You think the firmament opened like a scroll, and now they're just covering it all up? It doesn't make any sense. So it is what it is. All right, guys. At any rate, you too, guys. Richie from Boston, and stand by. No, I guess that's it. All right, guys. Richie from Boston, and I am out.